it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's Treasure You Tuesday. And what Tuesday wouldn't be complete without a little Treasure You moment? Take it away, Pat.
It's Treasure You Tuesday, and I am always excited to highlight the accomplishments of women and all of the great things that we're doing. And today we have Diane Paddison, a woman I've been so excited to meet ever since I started reading her book, Work, Love, and Pray. Boy, do we need a lot of prayer sometimes when we're trying to juggle it all. And so she's going to give us some tips on how you balance your life when you're working in corporate America and you're trying to raise kids and trying to be the best wife possible. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Pat. It is such a pleasure to be with you.
No, it's a pleasure. And like I said, I've been excited to meet you. Charlotte Anderson, who's a good friend of both of ours, right?
Right.
Sent me your book and said, I met this woman, and I think there's such a synergy between the two of you all. And as I started reading your book, she was absolutely right. What inspired you to write this?
Well, you know, I feel like God always blessed me with this platform in the corporate world, and I ended up to be in the C-suite of 2 Fortune 500 companies. And I was in different seasons of my life. I was single, married, went through a divorce, got remarried, so I've raised a blended family. And also, my faith has been my foundation throughout, and just felt like God had really prepared me to lead a ministry around helping professional Christian women. It was really through that I came to write a book.
So tell us, what are some of the things that you struggled with when you were, in corporate America, trying to balance? I mean, you mentioned a blended family. We're a blended family. I know that comes with extra challenges, right? Raising kids it's already, it's a lot of work.
You need lots of prayer.
And lots of prayer. So tell us kind of what were the struggles that you were having?
Well, there's always these demands. So you're dealing with, when do I talk with my kids at work?
Right.
When do I talk with my work when I'm at home? How do I balance travel because my job requires me to travel? When do I make sure I leave the office when other people are staying into the evening? And it's just all those just real practical things you have to deal with when you're trying to do it and do it as best you can.
So what were some of the answers to those questions that you came up with?
Yeah.
I mean, really, I know when I travel, sometimes I feel guilty if I'm going to miss one of my kids' baseball games or I'm going to miss a recital because of my job. How do you make those decisions?
Well, I think you have to have a great partner. And I was very blessed to be married to Chris. And Chris and I each weekend would kind of go through our schedule and try to figure out who could do this activity versus this one. I really put a boundary around my travel that would only be an average of 1 night a week, and I was very fortunate. Trammell Crow and CBRE supported me in that. Sometimes I had to say no to opportunities because I knew the travel wouldn't fit with my priority around my family. So you just have to really work with your spouse, work with your children so they understand this is a team effort.
That's right.
Takes a team.
Because the bills have to be paid, right?
Exactly. And it also takes you having the confidence that the Lord has given you gifts that He wants you to use. And a lot of women feel guilty, and I think guilty can be your enemy.
Okay.
So having the confidence that you're there and God put you there for a reason.
That's a good point because I know there's a lot of women that sit at home and they struggle with having gifts and desires, but then they don't want to leave their kids or they want to be there for their children or their husband. So you're saying, what, God's given you these gifts. He'll make provisions for the rest of your life if you put Him first, right? And you look to Him for the direction and the leadership.
Right.
To guide you.
And I think you always have to put Him first, and I think everybody has to figure out what the right answer is for them. Right. We shouldn't have to respond to what others think. It should be what we're feeling God's called us to do and what our family agrees that works well for our family.
Now, with this book, and for women who, of course, they say, I'm putting my family first, I'm putting my faith first. How does the workplace respond to those choices and decisions? Like, how have you found that, your business has responded.
Right. I think it's really important, and we do talk about it in Work, Love, Pray, about it will open some doors and it will close some. But if you're really true to yourself and true to what your priorities are, you'll feel good about it. So there may be a situation where you're working for a company that it works well because they support you in that. And there may be a situation that the organization you're working for, it's not a great fit. So being true to your priorities first, you also have to think practically about feeding your family.
Right.
But really trying to work through that so that honest communication about what's important to you and what you really need to feel good about your priorities is the most important thing.
Wow. And from this book, you've started a nonprofit.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Well, I feel so blessed. We started a nonprofit called Forward. The website is www.forwardwomen, and it's the number 4,
yes.
forwardwomen.org. We have that website. We have now about 25,000 in less than 2 years are coming from all over the world. We blog 3 times a week.
Okay. And I heard you got to check out your blog. I heard they're amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, we'll have to interview you for one.
Oh,
Charlotte has been one of our interviewees, and she did a fantastic job. And then we have local groups in cities around the United States, and really it's to build community so women can really help each other through these decisions as they go through life.
I love that. It's a community. Now I can see why Charlotte said we had to meet.
Well, thank you.
We connect on that. It's important for women to come together and support one another. And I want to treasure you today because you have built this community, and I think it's so needed, specifically in the area that you're talking about, with women trying to balance work and their family and all of their passions and desires. And I have a treasure you necklace for you that I give to people that have touched and inspired me.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Pat.
And I just celebrate you today, girl. Thank you, Diane. And thank you, Charlotte, for introducing us finally.
Yes.
Really, get this book. It's amazing. If you're struggling, you're trying to figure out how to prioritize everything in life, this is the book that you have to get. Work, Love, and Pray. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thank you,
Thanks
Pat.
for being here.
Pleasure to be here.
We'll be